Attitude is learned behavior. It's created by our beliefs, which are produced by our thoughts. That's why attitudes are so powerful and strong. They are strongholds. Secondly, we change our attitudes by changing our beliefs. And we change our beliefs by changing our thoughts about everything. And we change our beliefs by getting new information. So your belief about yourself came from information that you got about yourself. Last night I quoted a verse from the book of Psalm 82, verse 6. I'll quote it again. It says, God is speaking. He says, I said you are gods and sons of the Most High. The reason why God said it that way is because he don't want you to get information from anybody else. I said that you are gods. You're in the God class. When that hit me, I changed. Do you know the first sin in history was the result of a temptation of self-denial? Listen, friends. God said in Genesis 1:26, God says, let us make man just like us. So verse 27, so the Lord God made man just like himself. God took the man, put him in the garden. Lucifer comes and said, if you want to be like God, now think about what's going on here. They are already, see, I'm trying to get to your brain tonight. Your problem is you don't even believe who you are. So it's still working. The temptation is still working. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. If you want to be who you already are, disobey God. That was the temptation. Let me tell you what temptation really was. Write this down. Self-doubt. Self-doubt. Doubt yourself. And that's what we're suffering from. You dream of owning that business that you keep thinking about ever since you was 14 years old. And every day you go to work, you hate it because you're thinking about that business you should have started 27 years ago. The reason why you haven't started the business is because you keep believing that ain't you. Self-doubt. Self-doubt. The most difficult person that God has for you to meet is you. Help us, Lord. I tell you. Oh, my God. Your attitude comes from your beliefs about yourself. Put it another way. Write this down. This may be helpful to you. Statement that I thought made by Emerson was very powerful. Emerson says, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny things compared to what lies within us. And he's right. The most dangerous thing in the world is what's inside of you, because you see the outside based on what you believe on the inside. Either you see giants that you can't beat, or you see a land you could conquer. It has to do with what? The spirit of the mind. The attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, please. And then we're going to quit. Because some of you are leaving, and I don't want anybody leaving on me. Listen. God told Moses, this is amazing. He said, Moses, I have already given you the land. God told Moses. In other words, the land is history. Watch this. That means that the people with Moses, as far as God was concerned, already possessed the land. I'm trying to get at something. In other words, they are already owners of the land. But they didn't go in and get it because of their beliefs about themselves. Here's my point. The leadership spirit is the truth about you. But the spirit of leadership, the attitude, is what you think about you. Please get the tape, listen to it 10 times. You are already a leader. The problem is your thinking doesn't agree with who you are. And that's why God sent this conference. Because he wants you to stop thinking like a sheep. Start thinking like a lion. You are already a lion, but you think like a sheep. So when you see lions, you run. You are intimidated by lions, but you are a lion, but your thoughts are sheepish. God's going to change that this week. I say God's going to change that this week. Write this down. Training in leadership really means training in attitude. Because attitude has to do with how you respond to life. And leaders respond to life differently. I run an organization. It takes millions of dollars to run that organization every year. I got to pay salaries of over 63 people in our company. We are worth millions of dollars. I started with 7 people and an idea. And in 25 years, we have offices in 21 countries. We affect 800 million people every week. Our products are in 87 nations. And I still live on the island 7 miles wide. You live in America. We got to import 98% of everything we consume in the Bahamas. We have to import it. You live in the land of plenty and you broke. You live in the land of plenty and you ain't done nothing but pay rent. What's the difference? Attitude. If I lived in America, I promise you, I would have been the president a long time ago. Guaranteed. First black president. You're laughing. I mean that. All the other guys who tried were not leaders. They were opportunists. They had no vision. You see? If you get your attitude right, your behavior changes. You don't need to work on behavior.